is a brief seat on Agricultural Research Council of Nigeria Television, Abuja. I am Hilda Homsem Francois. The Agroclimatic Resilience in Semi-Arid Lands ACReSAL project is a multi-sectional and multi-institutional scheme financed by the World Bank and designed by the federal government of Nigeria. It focuses on environment, agriculture and water sectors. The project targets 19 states in northern Nigeria and the Capital Territory, aiming to combat desertification, restore degraded lands, promote sustainable ecosystems for agriculture and biodiversity. ACReSAL stakeholders engagement organized an event tagged Marketplace. The event aimed to showcase results from the project interventions and engage stakeholders in dialogue on sustainable development and climate resilience of the output and product from the 19 northern states and the FCT, which was not left out, having her farm produce and value chain displayed at the event. This has also improved agroclimatic resilience in the Federal Capital Territory by restoring degraded lands through reforestation and gully erosion control, providing support to farmers with equipment like tractors and fertilizers, enhancing water resources by constructing boreholes, improving land use planning, implementing climate-smart agriculture practices, and fostering community resilience and gender inclusiveness. These efforts addresses environmental changes like desertification and water scarcity, aiming to boost food productivity and livelihood, and of course security, which was reiterated by His Royal Highness Luka Ayodo, the Esu of Kwali, who applauded the intervention of ACReSAL in community living.
It delights me to see a pool of energy and commitment towards addressing the key factor that we struggle with daily, which is economic development and poverty itself. I've singled them out. ACReSAL is getting it right. And there's no other better person that will validate what ACReSAL is doing except traditional rulers like us. We live in communities where these projects are implemented. We live with the subjects who enjoy it and gets benefits from this project. I must congratulate the World Bank for investing in a noble venture and congratulate Nigerians for pooling the necessary resources, human resources, that will coordinate these interventions. And I also want to congratulate everyone who is on the field for ACReSAL for the mark you have achieved. Quickly, I would want to be very practical with my goodwill. I don't want to speak so many English like others have spoken here. I want to be very practical about it. How do you feel about your peace building program in various communities between pastoralists and crop producers? How do you feel about that? Have you taken pauses to find out how impactful that program is to our communities? I jettisoned a program early this morning to attend this, but after my goodwill, I'll return back to the NSA. Today we are validating the policy framework and action plan for PCV, that's Preventing and Countering Violent Extremism in Nigeria. And what you do not know, which I have said before, that your peace building program is one of the greatest PCB programs we've had in this country. We have had PCV programs built and implemented within community level, but nobody cares about the volume or the depth of violence that is there in the farm that is actually affecting crop production and the rest. Farmers' herders crisis, or pastoralist crop producers crisis, and the rest of them. There are a lot of violence out there. And what the PCV program did was to tell pastoralists and crop producers that, see, you can live together, your relationship is symbiotic, you don't need to fight. And that has scaled down the level of crisis we've had in farms. I tell you today, significantly. The inputs we have received have so improved crop production within our communities. We've received mechanization inputs, we've received crops, we've received other farm inputs. Sincerely, ACReSAL in Abuja South, ACReSAL is the only NGO or intervention rather that is on ground, followed by an NGO called WAFA. This is because your interventions have direct bearing on the people, and it's affecting the core indices that we struggle with: poverty. Women, young men are direct beneficiaries of what you've done in your mechanization programs. We've understood wealth creation. All we knew before now was to just go around, farm for subsistence, eat, and the rest of them, get the few out there to the market. But today, we have people collected into cells who are using these interventions to produce, to sell, and are expanding for commercial agriculture. We have enough to give out there. These interventions are within the third year, and we're already yielding a lot of results. I also have this to say about your CRV program. I told some of the officials some days ago that the rate at which I am referenced or greeted in my community has increased. This is because women and youths have a source in their hands to keep doing business. Kwali, where I come from, is the lead market for CIPSEM seeds in the North Central. It's also the lead market for melon. If you go to the section where these two products are transacted or sold and bought off, GPS signal lost, you will be very surprised to find out how much resources exchange hands there. So a lot is happening with ACReSAL interventions. I also want to tell you what ACReSAL have been able to do. Before now, if you farm cassava in my community, you will be queried for bringing hunger, because we did not see cassava as food. But today, cassava has turned out to be one product that is giving us a lot of money. Women in my communities are fast becoming millionaires because of cassava production, cassava processing. We have the lead fufu production factory now in the North Central. If you are from Otukpo, if you think the center used to be in Otukpo, it's no longer there. It's now in Kwali. And there are numerous testaments as to what your interventions are actually, how your interventions have impacted us. I also want to let you know that the models you've rolled out have been replicated by our communities and other organizations, and they are yielding. So, ACReSAL, I want to congratulate you for dealing with what affects directly the communities. We want to tell you that by the time this program is done and you do a good review of the impact of this program, we would have gotten enough to tell the World Bank that you invested in the right cause. Finally, I am concerned about the sustainability of this program afterwards. I'm concerned about how we're able to keep and continue to enjoy from all that ACReSAL is doing. And it is on that note that I want to end my goodwill with suggestive ideas. First, that it's good we have ACReSAL centers built around your key intervention areas. That will create a convergence and bring community ownership. As a traditional ruler, we don't want to be gates where you just come pass and go. We want to own most of your interventions. We want to own the infrastructures you provide. So if you have such center, after you are gone, the community, what you've been doing now is you're teaching us how to fish and then building the culture of fishing. By the time you leave, if there is no reference point, we will lose that culture. So we as community leaders, and I'm sure any other person who is here, will agree with me that we are committed to this cause and would want to own whatsoever structures we leave tomorrow so that our communities will continue to leverage from its benefits. Having said that, I want to say on behalf of all traditional rulers that we are grateful to the World Bank and ACReSAL for intervening with our subjects. That what you are doing is reducing the cases of youth restlessness in our communities. That what you're doing is reducing the influx of people into our palaces to seek for their daily conveniences. And that what you're doing is raising people into the informal market, the informal sector, which is the core of the Nigerian economy. And we wish you more and best time doing all of this.
Our chat with the Natural Resources Officer, Mr. Afefola Alenikong, acclaimed how FCT is fully involved in the intervention and how it has developed the communities and enhanced livelihood.
Yes, lots of them, particularly at the community level.
All right, so how we showcase it?
All right, today we are showcasing the product that our farmers in FCT are producing. And then these products are produced, as it were, majorly, geographically, as it were, where some are produced all across the FCT. We have some of them that are produced particularly in Kwali area of FCT as well as Gwagwalada area of FCT. These are the melon, both sweet melon and then that's watermelon and the vegetable melon. Then we have a lot of vegetables that have been produced particularly in Kwali and Gwagwalada area council. As you can see here, this is Solanium nigrum. Then we have cassava, and these are the products of cassava from Akpu, yes, fufu. Then this is the unprocessed fufu. This is another unprocessed fufu. This is lafu, they call it amala, the white type of amala. And this is the peeled bark of cassava. All these are products of cassava. Then we have Gari too, that is also a product of cassava. Then our farmers in FCT to also produces rice. And these ones are the processed type of rice. We have sorghum, that is dawa. Then we also have reedy, they call it reedy, which is sesame seed. And then we have honey. We have farmers in FCT that are basically producing honey in FCT. Also we have farmers that are producing corn or maize. Then this is the maize flour being produced here in FCT. So we have vegetables as well, pepper, we have okra. We also have here plantain. Also, this one particularly, as you are seeing it, is directly from the farm in one of the farms, particularly in Kwali Area Council, Pukafa community particularly. All these ones are produced in Sheda. We have a processing factory there in Sheda under Kwali Area Council. So these are the things that are being produced in FCT.
That is beautiful. So are they hybrids or they are normal
Farm produce.
products?
Yes, all of them that you are seeing are normal farm produce. None of them is hybrids. Although there are some of them that are improved species, but none is hybrid or GMO, so to say. Improved species, but not GMO.
Alright, so what are you going to tell our residents in Abuja and of course Nigeria and the world at large that feels like Abuja is the capital city where everything is literally we don't know that we can also have all these produced?
All right. I will tell people all across Nigeria and in the world, if possible, that we have people whose their mainstay or their livelihood comes from farming activities. It is what they produce that they live on, and it is such that we are seeing being displayed here today. That is to say, there are people that are basically farmers in FCT, and just like I mentioned earlier, they are found majorly at the community level. We have some of them who produce it for their personal use. Those are subsistence farmers, and we have some who even produce at commercial level. So those are the types of farmers we have in FCT.
ACReSAL contributed to all this.
Oh, that is very interesting. ACReSAL has indeed contributed to all this that you are seeing, and in fact, we have some of them here today that are here to testify to what ACReSAL have done. For example, in this area where they are producing this apple from cassava, ACReSAL has gone there to improve their processing capability and also uplift them from the local way through which they were processing and producing to a modern way by actually providing a more befitting working environment and also providing environmentally friendly machine which is using solar to generate power so as to grind some of the things they grind and process some of the things they process. While before they were using generator, some they were using machine that needs consume high volume of fuel and then energy. But now they are having them produce like almost at a very minimal price, because the machine they are now using is being powered by the solar, and it's ACReSAL that provided all this for them. Then we also have for farmers who are producing like cassava, rice, millet, sesame seed, tractors has been produced for most of these farmers across the 6 area councils in FCT. Then not only tractors, we also produce planters, we produce power tiller, particularly for female farmers who might not be able to handle the tractor. Then all this has contributed to higher increase in products in farm products in FCT, and lesser stress, saves time for farmers, and also make them to have better livelihood.
enjoyed this episode. Let's put our hands on deck to contribute to food security in the FCT. I am Hilda Homsem Fantwam. Take good care of yourself and bye.